Okay, so I'm just going to do a reasonably quick tutorial on how we could use an image and copy it um, to draw your project if it was something maybe a little bit more complicated layout. So what I'm going to do, I have a new file open here. There's nothing at all on the file, so I'm going to go into File and I'm going to Import, and I'm going to go in here to this folder, and I have a picture here, PNG, so I'm going to import this picture as an image and just bring it in and drop it here in place. So I have that image there. Now if I know a measurement on this, then I can take, let's say I know how much the distance, so from front to back. Okay, so let's say I have that measurement there. So I'm just going to use the tape measure and starting this point, draw a line out as far as here, and you can see that's currently 148.495 millimeters. Okay, but we actually know that's, I'm going to make a guess now for, so I actually don't have the measurement of that, but I'm going to guess that it's 900 millimeters there from front to back. It's asking me, do I want to resize this model, and in my case I do, so it's going to rescale that, and it's disappeared completely. That's because it's way down here. It's just a tiny little object. If I actually go up here and zoom extents, I'll just click on this, it's just zoomed back in to that object. Now it's, I'm going to actually let's move it from here back up to the origin, and again I'll just click on this zoom extents again, so it just brings me into there. Now what I can do is I can just draw a shape around that. So let's say we wanted to draw this the one of the tines for the fork here. So we can pick, there's various different types of arcs that we can pick here. So we'll try maybe a 2-3 point arc. So if I start here and I go to, let's say here, it looks like it's changing direction, and then I'm going to pull that guy out to there. Then I'm going to start here again. I'm going to come to here. Now the one thing you just need to be careful when you're doing this is make sure that it's actually drawn it on the face and that it's not coming up against you. So let's do, I'm going to use that guy again, so our 2 point arc. So 2, and drop him down here. And then if I want to do the inside one, so again 1, 2. Now that's the shape that's not working out great because it's probably reasonably straight actually here in the bottom. So I could try drawing a shorter one if I wanted to. So there's a shorter arc as far as there. Then draw another arc up from here. It's fine. Another one from the end point there. In fact, so this one is actually, looking at it, it's even shorter. Just to make sure it's drawn on the face. And then let's say we actually have a reasonably straight run back in along as far as here. Another arc. I'm going to draw a 3 point arc too if we want to. So 1, 2, 3. This looks like a straight line up to here. And there's a relatively short arc here. And just mark that in there, and then we can just decide on what's going to happen up here. So again, probably this is, imagine a straight run. I guess by the look at it, it's really a straight run all the way up to somewhere here. Okay, so now I have a face made on that. Now I don't have the bracket. Okay, there's a bracket up here, but that's the rough outline of the piece there. I'm just going to delete that face again, so select that and delete it. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show a center point in here. Now again, just because of the angle, this was taken at a slight angle. Okay, I'm going to assume that this is a little bit off center. So again, now I can check the size of that pin now if I want. So use my tape measure here. Saying it's a 45mm pin. So I put about 27.5. Tape. So it's 55 offset again. Offset 5 I should have there. Okay, so again we can delete that there. So again, if I want to put a face back in this, I'm just going to draw a line along one of those points. Now if I pull this guy out, let's say we're going to take that's going to be 10mm, or maybe 12mm. So let's assume it's going to be 12mm, and you have the bushing here then, so that's going to be 30mm bushing. Okay, so now what we have basically is we have one entire tine there. So if I can make that component, so we'll call this tine and create that. Now we also did layers last year, so I'm just going to add layer. Now I actually have a lot of layers here. Probably should have started with a. Just going to call this 0 0 tine, and I'm going to add another one 0 0 bucket. The only reason I'm just using those is just so that they're coming up here at the top. So this is going to be our tine layer. I can paint that. And so we're going to select red, and there we have one loader tine made. Now we obviously don't have the bracket on it, so there's a bracket obviously on the end tine. That's not going to be on all the rest of them, so that we could make that one unique. We can do that in a few minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn off that layer. So I'm going to go over here to my layers and I'm going to hide tine, so that one just disappears. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw the end of the bucket. So again, we'll pick a 3-point curve. Let's see if we can get this thing. There's a slight curve on this up to there. There's a very small tight curve up here. 1, 2, 3. It looks like we have a straight edge coming back along the top to here. It's reasonably straight to there. Then it's a slight curve. 1, 2, 3. Appear to have a straight edge again then. So tangent is going to bring me to there. I put in another 3-point curve here. 1. Pick a point here. 2. And 3. And now we're going to draw a straight edge back out. Sorry, no, just leave that on the horizontal. So choose on the red face, and okay. So now I have the end of my bucket here. So again, if I pull that out, say we're going to make that in let's say we're going to use a channel, look, we'll say 10 for argument's sake, and I'm going to make that component again. So this is bucket end, so one at each end. And what I can also do is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to double click so I have all that face. I'm going to control copy that, so I'm just, or edit copy, and then come out of it, and now I'm going to edit paste in place. So now I'm just pasting that on the side of the bucket. And now if I use my offset, I come up to here, I'm going to insert this, so let's say we're going to use 6mm plate in the back of the bucket. Up here we'll probably close it off here at this point. And again down the bottom more than likely be closed off here. Just erase that, and now we can erase this line as well. We can actually erase that front edge, but we'll leave it there for a minute. And now if I come up here, I can push pull this. So let's say we're going to make a bucket that's let's say 6 feet wide. I know it's a wide bucket. Look, let's say 1500. So well, we'll go 1800, 6 foot wide bucket. So actually, we'll just undo that now for a second. Backwards now. Select this again. So I just have this shape here. I'm going to make that a group first. And now if I go into that group, delete that. That's one group, that's my end of my bucket. Just get into this face again now. Sorry, I need to get out this one. Push pull this. So I'll push and pull again him out to the 1800. Paint bucket. Let's say we'll paint it grey. Now we can also do, we can just move this guy. So we're going to move him. We're going to make a second copy of him. Down here on this end. So here we have both of those. And now if I go back, I'm going to go back to my layers over here. Layers, and go down back on bucket tine. So I have my bucket tine here. I'm going to move in that first tine. Actually, we need to bother if I move it from there. Actually, it might be better. So if I move him from here, I'm going to create a copy, and I'm going to bring it right over to the end here. And we'll divide that by 6 enough, probably. Maybe 6 or 6 times gone in there. Now these center ones are probably different because they won't have the brackets on them. So I can select all these, and we're going to make these unique, so they're different to the two end ones. So these ones are more likely to be a flat top on them. So again, we'll go back to our curve here. First, I just want to make sure I'm in this. So I'm in this face here. 3-point curve. So if I start here, the colour here is not making it very easy to see what's going on, but you get the idea. And now push pull that guy back. And now we have our basic loader bracket. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to make these a group so they're all grouped together. Now what I could also do is these are all our tines are tied together. So I'll go in here again and we'll put on flat plate. So I'll use this guy. So from here down to here, then on the face, I'm going to say 10 mil. And now push pull that guy all the way over to make this guy here. And see, it's actually the same on the end one here, which is fine. Leave it there now for a minute. And actually, it might be better if I went back one step instead of being inside in that for a minute. If I just work on the face of it, we'll actually be able to paste it into it in a minute. So select from there to there, it's 8 mil. Push pull in there. Now this one is not after coming out on the end here, but let's see in a minute now what we're going to do. So we'll do another one down here. So again, starting from here to here, and again, let's try and look, we've got it 8 mil again. Push pull him over to there. I'm going to make that a group. Make that a group. Repaint it, so buckle tool again. This color I want. And I'm going to move him over to here. So I have a second copy of it there. And now what I'm going to do with the first one, we can copy it from here. So I'm going to cut it out of here. I'm going to open up one of these again, this particular one. So I need to make sure I'm in there, so I'm on the face of it, so I'm editing that component. And now I'm going to edit, paste in place. Okay, so there we have the bucket, grab it. Now I don't have the brackets. Again, I could do the same with the brackets. We could just trace over the brackets there. And in fact, if we wanted to, if those brackets, they appear maybe to be completely out to the edge. So I'm just going to move this again. So use the move tool. Just so I have a second copy of it here. So these brackets could actually be right on the end now. They're probably not, because the pin would be getting caught on the side. But if you wanted to just draw this guy in here. So if again we go for the curve, so 3-point curve, start here, middle point of the curve here, and third point there. Draw a line from there down to here, a line from here to a little bit long, yeah, somewhere there, and then from there back down to meet this. And then the only thing we need to do is we just need to close that and just make it easy. What I'm going to do is going to delete this so I can draw in that pin again. So again, I can check and see what size pin that is roughly. Appear to be 35mm pin. So it would be 17.5 would be half of that. So 17.5. That's roughly there. Offset the offset. So offset that 8 mil. Outside this, like that. Again, I can just draw a line then anywhere. So from an endpoint here to an endpoint here until this can be a face again. Push pull this guy 10 mil. Push pull this guy say 30 mil. I'm going to make that a component again. So this is load, yeah, just bracket we'll call it. So create a slightly different color. So now if I move him, I'll just pick him up from this point here, and I'm going to move him all the way across. Put one here. Second one then in. I'll just move it in here for 1 second because what I want to do first is I just want to scale it so it's the exact opposite of it. So I'm just going to scale this to -1. And now if I just pull a tape here, let's say we want to be 75 mil apart. Move him back 75. Move the whole lot in 50 mil. Same now, we'll move him, copy of it all the way down, follow the green axis all the way to the end here, and then move him back in 50 mil. So there we have our 2 brackets on the back. Okay, and we can do the same with the brackets here on top. Something similar with that if we wanted to. The other item that I was going to show you, we're going to do the last day. So I'll just put a pin in here. So I'm just hovering here on the edge of this so we can find it. Trying to find the center point. So there's the center point of that. 22 mil pin there. Push pull him all the way through. The picture is just there. That guy through at least on the face here. Back off X-ray. So he's going to be pivoting there. We're obviously going to need brackets on the top here, something like these, for that pivot about. So what we can do then is we can just can rotate. This is a group. We can rotate this around this point here. So from the center point of that, let's see, grab will open and close over this area here, and I can use the animate to show how that would actually work. But that just gives you a rough idea of how I'd go about creating that grab based on just that one photo that was there. Okay, I hope that helps to some degree. and have a go yourself. Okay.